Fans of the Horus Heresy, hello and welcome to my review of the Space Marine Praetors for the Legiones Astartes from the Age of Darkness box set for Warhammer the Horus Heresy from Games Workshop. Now, the reason why I'm doing a review of these two Praetors is because, well, I'm just going through the box set and reviewing all of the miniatures inside. And this box set, of course, as you know, will cost you £180. There are plenty of Legion-specific Praetors that you can pick up from Forge World in resin, or there is a little box set of Cataphractii Praetor. It's a shame if you don't like Cataphractii, and a Chaplain Consul for £32.50 that's in plastic from Games Workshop. The Terminator Praetors typically will cost you either £28.50 for the Imperial Fist one, or the Word Bearers one, which looks like this in the Terminator armour. Very, very cool. I think you can agree. It's an absolute pain to put together though. Or the normal power armoured Praetors, which will cost you, £24 for the White Scars Imperial Fists, and this Word Bearers, which I think is probably one of the best looking Praetors they do. Absolutely stunning. All the way up to £26.50 for Jeff Bezos. So I'm not going to get all of my Praetors out and do comparisons with all of them with these, but I just wanted to highlight that there are other options if you're not a big fan of these two, which I know quite a few people aren't, because they are massive and they don't look like they're in Mark 6. I mean, Praetors typically command 1,000 Space Marines, so they're kind of like chapter masters, and whenever we read up about lore and the backstory of chapter masters and things, normally they have some bespoke artificer armor. I mean, they are usually directly in conversation with their Primarchs, so you'd expect them to have not like your typical off-the-shelf armor, which is what I've been saying for a long time. But anyway, let's carry on with this review. And the format of this review, kind of 7 minutes in, is that I'll have a look at the miniatures individually. We'll look at all the detail and things. We'll look at the spare parts, of which there are a couple, namely 2 helmetless heads, no different weapon options, which is a bit of a shame, and then we'll go through some size comparisons with a few of the other Praetors I have, and some models from the set, and then I'll go through all of the rules, and there are a fair bit of rules to get through. You've got 2 flavours of Praetors. I've already sacrificed, I say, this Praetor. It's a really nice Praetor to go with Sons of Horus. Like, don't get me wrong, let's just move these spare parts over right now, because I need to put them in a bag or something. Especially with the top knot, it comes with a top knot with some kind of mask. It works well. I've also seen it work well with Death Guard, actually Raven Guard as well. I'm sacrificing this to Death Guard because I think it would make a really nice future Lord of Contagion. If you look at the Lord of Contagion, it's got a double-handed I say chain axe type of thing. I think this trophy rack works well, except for the eagles, I guess. But it works pretty well. The cloak would work well. Even that pistol thing that he's got, it's fine to use him as Death Guard, and they even do that in the book as well. Next, you've got this Praetor. I haven't really decided. I think he would be a decent Blood Angels Praetor, or even a Emperor's Children Praetor, because I think the Mark 6 suits Emperor's Children, and with the studs on the pauldron, that also works well, and his cheeky little Volkite weapon. But I think in this instance I will use him for Dark Angels. Not that I really want to, because I've got some Praetors already, but you know, the sword, you could pass that off as like a Tyrannic Greatsword, and I think he would count as a Hecco something, a Hecco-Tony sticker. Sorry if I've completely butchered that pronunciation. Hecco-Tony? Anyway, you know what I mean. It's one of them. I could pass him off as that. So I might do that, but definitely this guy is going to be Death Guard, even with that Aquila. Never mind. Even with that eagle on the back. This is the other head, and again, you can put, you know, like a fluff of hair top knot type thing for this one. That one, this Praetor does have an eagle on his forehead, so yeah, there is that. But they're the spare parts with these Praetors. Now, elephant in the room, their size. They are big boys. It leads me on to the size comparisons actually straight away. If we compare them to well, just your normal Praetor, because they're not in Terminator armour, they're just in Mark 6. I guess you could class them as Artificer armour, but compared to a normal Praetor, they are a bit bigger. And this is one of the newer Praetors. The Imperial Fist Praetor, who I've got banging around somewhere, he is bigger than these, but he is the biggest Praetor. Yeah, they just look massive. Maybe it's the cloak as well, but even compared to like this Terminator, they're a fair bit bigger and chunkier. Compared to, well, even a Dark Angels Terminator, they're similar sort of size. Maybe the Terminator's a little bit bigger, but only by a little bit. But a normal Mark 6, yeah, they're like a whole head and a bit taller, aren't they? I know with the pose and things, because like if you look at this one, there's not that much going for it at all, but yeah, that means you can definitely spot them, I guess, in amongst the troops and things. But I just wanted to make that comparison with them. Compared to like a Dreadnought, Contemptor, right here, they work well with him, or a Rhino, again. Apparently you can fit 12 Space Marines in a Rhino now. But, you know, they definitely look the part, I'll give them that. You know, there's a lot of bling and things on them for Praetors. I just, you know, question whether they should be that much bigger. Games Workshop do this with some of their Primaris characters. They make them a fair bit bigger than the actual sort of troops, which, you know, they want to do that. So that's where they stand. Let's just compare them to the 40k offering. So here's a normal Space Marine. Yeah, a fair bit chunkier. And then here's a Primaris. Kind of Primaris size, isn't he? Almost. Looks chunkier than a Primaris. How about this one, who's in a bit more crouched position? Yeah, very similar. Imagine if they made their Terminators this sort of chunky. Yeah. Anyway, that's where they measure up. Obviously, Slime Arbo barely comes up to the chest. That's where they measure up to 40k miniatures. What I will do now is just go through all of their rules. You'll find them in, of course, the HQ section of your Legiones Astartes army book. So it would be right at the front, and it's the very first HQ choice you will meet. So they are points cost of 120. Their stat line reads a movement of 7 inches, weapon skill is 6, ballistic skill 5, strength 4, toughness 4, 3 wounds, initiative 5, attacks 4, leadership 10, and a save of 2+. The war gear, they have a bolt pistol, chainsword, artificer armour, iron halo, frag grenades and crack grenades. Their special rules: Legiones Astartes, Master of the Legion, independent character, and relentless. So yes, they have artificer armour, so that's kind of like one up from your standard power armour. They've got a save of 2+, that's reflected in the Artificer armour. They've got the Iron Halos, which give them an invulnerable 4+ save, very useful. And how do they compare to a Centurion? So Centurion typically is like a captain, and they will oversee sort of like 100 Space Marines or so, like a company. Well, a Centurion is half the points, 60 points, but it's the same movement speed, slightly worse weapon skill at 5, ballistic skill 5, same strength and toughness though, 1 less wound at 2, same initiative, which is very good. They have 1 less attacks at 3, their leadership is 9, but they still get a 2+ save. But instead of their Iron Halo, they get a Refractor Field, which I think is a 5+ invulnerable save. So it's up to you whether you want to, I don't know, go cheap and get a Centurion. I mean, yes, it does seem odd that you'd have a Praetor on the battlefield leading an army of probably no more than 50, maybe 60 Space Marines, when they should be in charge of like 1,000. But maybe they're just in that battle sector at that one time. But for small games, I'd probably just settle with a Centurion. Unfortunately, Forge World do not make a Legion Centurion model anymore. I do have one somewhere, but don't let that stop you. If you want to have one of these as a Centurion and one of them as a Praetor, you do that. Or if you want to proxy one as a Centurion, that's fine too. Doesn't really make much difference. And if anything, you're kind of handicapping yourself to your opponent by choosing a kind of worse unit, if that makes sense. Anyway, on with the Praetor review. So, a Legion Praetor may take one of the following: a Bolter at 2 points, a Magna Combi weapon at 10 points, a Minor Combi weapon at 5, Volkite Charger at 2, Astartes Shotgun at 2, and a Nemesis Bolter at 10. Praetor may exchange either his bolt pistol and or chainsword for one of the following: a Volkite Serpenta at 2 points, Hand Flamer at 2, Plasma Pistol 10, Archaeotech Pistol at 15, Disintegrator Pistol at 20, very pricey that thing, a Chain Axe at 5, Charnable Weapon at 10, Power Weapon at 15, Power Fist at 25, Lightning Claw at 10, Thunderhammer at 30, Paragon Blade at 30, and a Boarding Shield for free. A Legion Praetor that selects a boarding shield also gains the heavy subtype. The option may not be selected for any model that has been upgraded to have a Legion Spather combat bike, Legion Scimitar jet bike, or Legion Warhawk jump pack. Interesting. A Legion Praetor may exchange both his bolt pistol and chainsword for the following: 2 Lightning Claws for 20 points. May not be selected for any model that has upgraded to have a Legion Spather combat bike or Legion Scimitar bike. A Legion Praetor may take one of the following: Combat Shield for free, Melter Bombs for 10 points. A Praetor may upgrade any one weapon to have the Mastercrafted Special Rule at 10 points. They may take one of the following: Warhawk Jump Back at 20 points, a Spather Combat Bike at 20, and a Scimitar Jet Bike at 30. Now, they have this special rule called, so there's plenty of options there. You know, I think mine is equipped with, well, you could basically call them power weapons, which includes swords and axes and you know what's. Pistol wise, I'd probably say let's say the Imperial Fist Praetor there has the, I'll probably call it a Volkite Charger that he's got. And the other weapon for the other Praetor you can't really see because it's holstered, but you could just probably pick one and be fine. The special rules then, they have Master of the Legion. They grant, that special rule grants the following benefits. You've got Rights of War. If a detachment with the Legiones Astartes faction includes at least one model with the Master of the Legion special rule, then that detachment may select a single Right of War. Rights of War are presented in the Appendix Legiones Astartes Rights of War, found on page 96. So you get a Right of War if you pick the Praetor, because the Praetor has Master of the Legion. Some characters have Master of the Legion as well. That's one of the big differences between them and the Centurion. So the Centurion doesn't have Master of the Legion, but has Legiones Consularis, which means that that Centurion can specialise in a particular kind of field, such as a Vigilator, which is like the sniper one, a Moritat, which is kind of like the jump pack, a Kimbo pistol one. You've got the Praevian, which I think is the kind of Tech Marine type one. You've got the Primus Medicae, which of course, you know, is the medic. And you've got loads of others as well, like Master of Signals and Librarian and Esoterrorist. So back to the Master of Legion, you've also got the Few and the Proud. Army may only include a maximum of one model with this special rule per 1,000 points. This counts across all detachments of an army. So an army that totals at least 1,000 points may include only a single model with the Master of Legion special rule. An army that includes at least 2,000 points may include up to 2 models with the Master of Legion special rule. So pretty much that means that, you know, you've got to get over 1,000 points to get a Praetor. You've got to get at least 2,000 points to get 2. So there's a bit of a point restriction there, and that's to stop you from having 2 Praetors in a 1,500 point army, I guess, or even an 1,850 point army. Retinue. A model with this special rule may also include a Legion Command Squad, Legion Cataphracti Command Squad, or Legion Tartarus Command Squad as part of the same force organisation slot as the model with the Master of the Legion special rule. Full rules for doing so can be found in the appendix, Legiones Astartes special rules, on page 124. The command squad is pretty nice. You get a few buffs with that, and it's just a free way, I guess, of getting more decent Space Marines with your Praetor. You know, just to keep them company and things, you know. So there you go. That is my review of the Legion Praetor. Well, these 2 specific ones from the Age of Darkness box set. I have done reviews on Praetors before, like Legion specific ones. I will be doing a review of the Dark Angels Legion Praetor, and whenever I do a review of a Legion specific Praetor, I will of course be going through that Legion's specific rights of war and their options and the upgrades and things that they can take. I'll be doing that with Emperor's Children as well, of course, when that Praetor's released. What do you guys think of these 2 Praetors? It's nice that we get 2 Praetors in Artificer armour, rather than the Cataphracti one that we've had before. We've only really had one, and we've only really had a Centurion. Like I said before, it really is up to you. If you don't want to go down the Praetor route and you wanted a cheaper HQ unit, you could pick one of these and have him as your Centurion. I'm still on the fence about both of these models because I'm viewing them as a pair, but if I was to view them individually, I'm not a fan of the, I say, Imperial Fists one with the sword, but I do like the, I say, Sons of Horus one, which I'm going to use for Death Guard. So that's where my preferences lie with these 2 models. Will I be using them in games? I don't know, maybe, but I think I'd prefer to use the Legion specific Praetors and probably use these as Centurions. But what do you guys think? Do you absolutely love these Praetors? Is it nice to get Praetors in the Mark 6 armour? Please do put your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. It'd be great to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.